don't know. I mean, regardless though, like, does any of this even really matter right now?
It does matter. What's gonna happen if you don't make it out in time?
No. It shouldn't be happening like this. Where the hell is this thing at? I cannot freaking find it.
What are you talking about? You need to leave right now. I mean, what is it that you're even looking for?
My Murse.
Hello? Hello?
What? Today I'm going to talk about what is in my Murse. What is a Murse, you ask? Well, a Murse is simply a shortened noun for the word man purse, which can be absolutely worn by anyone, so I don't even know why they even call it a man purse. Why can't they just call it a tactical utility bag, which holds everything that a photographer may need just in case they need to go out and go shoot some street photography? You know what I mean? Nonetheless, you get it. So I'll be sharing in particular what I take out with me on a day for street photography, including 2 different loadouts, my film loadout and my digital loadout. All right, let's jump right into it. So here is my film loadout. First things first, let's talk about my camera bag. This is the Clever Supply Co. Camera Sling. This is a 6-liter bag that straps over your shoulder, has a ton of amazing little details, and I gotta say it's probably been one of my favorite bags that I've ever used. It has a ton of different zipper pockets, one up here in the front. Then in the main compartment, you have a nice and large opening, which is completely customizable through these little Velcro dividers. There's a lot of premium details and features that honestly I really love, and they are not paying me to say this in any type of way. I really just genuinely love this bag, and it is perfect for anyone looking to go out and find a bag for street photography and or travel. Anywho, moving on over into what I carry inside, you have a couple of different things. First, we have a couple of just pocket accessories, my wallet, we got some gum as well as some AirPods so that I can pop them in when I go out and shoot street. Obviously, I'm always gonna carry some sort of film as well as a film container. This is like a nice one from Kodak. It doesn't really matter which one you use, but I particularly like this one right here. And if you are curious about any of these products, they are going to be linked in the description below. Of course, they are Amazon affiliate links. Next up, let's talk about my cameras. So as for my secondary, I have a Konica Big Mini, and I typically like to cycle this one out with an Olympus XA, but this one has been my main secondary for the last maybe 2 to 3 months. Beautiful 35mm 3.5 lens, super sharp, and honestly gets the job done when I don't feel like taking out my next camera, which is my main A camera. And that camera, ladies and gentlemen, is the Leica M6 with my 28mm Ultron lens. Now the Leica M6 has been my workhorse for the last year now. I did just get it last year, and I've put through over maybe like 400 to 500 rolls already this year. I have been shooting for a bigger project. I absolutely love my Leica M6 and just how smooth and tactical the entire camera experience is. I touched on it briefly, but I am using the 28mm Voigtlander Ultron Mark II. And the 28mm focal length is something that I have been trying to implement as of late, mainly because a lot of my favorite photographers shot with the 28mm lens. And I'm not gonna lie, the 28mm has kind of forced me out of my comfort zone. And as a result, I've been wanting to learn more about how to compose with a wider angle lens. And so I've taken a class to kind of help me master how to compose, but also to learn about color science and what colors go together and how to utilize that all into one frame. Now, I did end up finding this class on Skillshare, which is the largest online learning community for creatives, with thousands of classes led by industry pros across film, photography, illustration, freelance, design, and many more. Now hear me out, if you are a photographer looking to expand your skill set, Skillshare has a ton of learning paths that you can choose from to help you master any particular skill within the photography realm that you would like to learn. Everything from portrait photography to street photography, there is a learning path for you waiting on Skillshare. And if you want to kind of stand out from the crowd, it's better to learn more skills. Now it's your turn. Skillshare is actually offering the first 500 viewers of my channel here a 1-month free trial of Skillshare, completely free. Just use the link in the description below and you guys can get a free month of Skillshare. Huge thank you to Skillshare, of course, for for sponsoring today's episode. Alright, so we went over my film loadout. Now let's talk about my digital loadout. Now, even though I am going to show you my digital loadout here in a second, I want to just clarify most of what I shoot is film. Realistically, the cameras that I use digitally only come out when I don't want to pay for developing. Maybe I just have too many rolls backed up that are in the lab, or I just feel like shooting one of my digital cameras. Anyways, let's jump right into it. So the bag stays the same, and most of what I bring typically is going to be very similar to the first loadout. Still got the gum, the wallet, sunglasses, AirPods, all of that stuff. And you know, a lot of times I am out for more than 12 hours just in the streets shooting, and so I do have to have some of these things in order to make my experience just a little bit more comfortable. But when it comes to gear, it's very simple. The first thing that I have here is a couple of spare batteries. You're gonna need this for your cameras, of course. I tend to take maybe 2 to 3 on a longer day typically, and most of the time I am just bringing one camera, so I kind of have to bring an extra set of batteries. In terms of camera gear, one camera that I have been shooting a ton recently is the Fujifilm X-E1, and as for the lens on it, I have the 18mm f2. Now the 18mm f2 in a 1.5x crop sensor camera ends up being like a 28mm lens, which as you guys have seen earlier on my Leica, that is the focal length that I've been trying to shoot with. Now overall, I really like the X-E1. It gives me a very small, compact little Fujifilm camera system that, you know, is perfect for street photography. The only drawback that I have is that it's pretty old and it can be pretty slow. But if you are looking to get one of these, honestly, they are amazing. If you learn how to use it and how to use it well and effectively, there's a lot of ways to get around that slowness and the aging that it shows through, again, the slowness. With that said, the alternate camera to my digital loadout is going to be the Fujifilm X Pro 2. And this one I cycle between the 18mm f2 or this 23mm f2 lens. Now I love the Fuji X Pro 2. It's one of my favorite cameras of all time. And you know what? Even though they have the X Pro 3 out already and they're probably going to release the X Pro 4, I still think the X Pro 2 is very relevant in 2024. At 24 megapixels and, you know, fast enough autofocus, I don't see a reason to replace it. To me, it's one of the cameras that I'm always going to kind of keep into my collection just because it is that good. And I've owned it now a couple of years and I still really, really love it, especially with that silent shutter. It's very discreet and it's a really, really handsome camera. So there you have it. That is what is in my Murse. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you are new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below. We post videos every single week on film photography, street photography, and Fujifilm content. And also, if you want to help the boy out, drop a like down below. All right, that's gonna wrap it up. I'll see you in the next one. Minolta gang.